Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, Curtis Selby, your retired midnight blogger. What blogs in this case at 6:37 p.m. Decided I'm going to start most of these by reading my mission statement. That way, you basically, if you haven't listened to me, you know who you're dealing with. I give and receive God's love, learning all I can, teaching what I learn, sharing and writing relevant, entertaining stories, facts, theories, and ideas with the aim of healing and growing myself, those I love, and a community seeking freedom as I learn the meaning of peace, prosperity, love, and enlightenment. All right, let's say hello to everyone in the chat, and then I will dive into today's topic. Hail and well met, John Ponterero. Yes, I had to change the thumbnail. Evidently, YouTube doesn't like images of Donald Trump shooting down drones with big guns. I thought about using the Real Time magazine cover, but instead I designed my own using AI. You'll have to let me know if you like Time magazine's cover better than mine or not. And Ranker Steve. Ranker Steve, howdy, howdy. Now that I've got a little bit of an idea of my job schedule, one of these days I will figure out a time to be on Manorama, which will probably be a better use of my time than ranting here anyway, because I do want to be on there. You're very welcome here. If there is anyone here besides Ranker Steve and John Ponterero, please check out Ranker Steve's channel. He's got some wonderful, positive, masculine affirming podcasts, and they are the bomb. Oh, I've said that with under 8 minutes. YouTube will probably ding me. All right, let's stop the music and begin with the topic. As everyone knows, for good or ill, right or wrong, maybe both sides are in the wrong. There has been a war between the mainstream media and Donald Trump from the day he got elected against Hillary Clinton, possibly before then, but that's when I noticed that the whole thing just kind of became a monolith against him. I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again. I was working a pretty nice dead-end job back at the time, and one day I was going into the break room. They always had CNN going, and they had a newscast of the death of Aretha Franklin. And I hope God forgives me, and I hope you can forgive me, but the very first thought in my mind was not, oh my God, Aretha Franklin has died, how terrible. The first thought in my mind was, thank God they're talking about something besides Donald Trump. So I'm feeling some of this stuff that's going around, but I've gotten a decent amount of things still to share with everybody. I do want to apologize before I dive in too quickly for the last newsy type stream. It was my own bad. At first, I thought it was YouTube pulling down my stuff because I was being too conservative, but it was actually Joe Rogan's channel nailing me for using too much of his stuff. And I can see that. I was sharing a lot of that podcast. It was just that I felt so much of it was revealing and valuable. And I do hope that anyone who's had the time has listened to that podcast. That was the one with Mike Bentz, who was the gentleman who persuaded me that the 2020 election was in fact stolen. Qapla', Space Fraggle, glory to you and to your house. Ah, yes. All right. I have gotten some courage into me. Let's present what we have to present. Here we go. We have Fox News. One of the things I don't like about StreamYard is that quite often the stuff that you put into the tabs is not in the same order on StreamYard. I don't know why that is. So sometimes you have to hunt and peck for it. Let's see what Fox News has to say about Trump.
From Fox, 8:21 is the time here on the East Coast. I'm
great.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. 8:21 is the time here on the East Coast. I'm Jeanne Francine. We have a quick update for you as it relates to President-elect Donald Trump. It takes us out to the Big Apple there in New York City. Take a look at your screen. You can see President-elect Donald Trump named Time Person of the Year. And we are looking ahead right here on Live Now from Fox, as we know, coming up in the 9 o'clock hour, 9:30 this morning here on the East Coast to be specific. We know that President-elect Donald Trump will be expected to ring the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. And you can see they have the podium there waiting for his arrival. We actually had a camera shot early this morning out in front of Trump Tower as we were hoping to get a glimpse of him leaving. So we don't know if he left just yet, but of course he will be headed there closer to the 9 o'clock hour. The Associated Press providing some perspective as to why this is important. They say about 6 months ago, Donald Trump was sitting in a courtroom in Lower Manhattan listening to a jury make him the first former president convicted of a crime. Well, Thursday, he will ring the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange, just blocks from that courthouse, as he was recognized by Time Magazine as its Person of the Year.
All right. What does anybody think about that? Now, I'm not sharing that to gloat. The reason why I'm sharing that is because it seems to be at least a little bit of a turnaround. It's like I've noticed that since he won, you have two camps in the mainstream media. Well, I'm sure more than that, but a lot of them can be polarized into two different camps. One camp is doubling down. Trump is the Antichrist. Trump is the next Hitler. We've got to fight him tooth and nail using every legal, legitimate, and maybe even illegitimate means to thwart his presidency. And then you have another camp that's like, okay, he won. We might as well deal with it. We might as well reach across the aisle and at least have a dialogue with the guy. Personally, I think that's what they should have done a long time ago. But there was always a reason. The first time he won, but it wasn't. But he didn't win the popular vote, so he's not really the people's president. The second time he lost, and so really now he's a has-been. He's a loser. Ha ha ha! Now he knows what it's like to lose. He's having all these trials happen. Ha ha ha! And then all of a sudden, he's president. Imagine that. I'm going to read from Politico. Time magazine to name Trump the person of the year. He was also recognized in 2016. Whether you like him or hate him, there's quite a few photographs of him looking very grumpy. Just saying. On one hand, I blame him. He should be more cheerful, maybe. But on the other hand, I blame the media because it does seem like they deliberately picked the photos that make him look bad. Just putting that out there. Donald Trump waves on stage at a campaign rally October 29. Donald Trump is expected to be named Time Magazine's Person of the Year, and to celebrate the unveiling of the cover, the president-elect will ring the opening bell of the New York Stock Exchange on Thursday morning. That was Thursday last. According to 3 people familiar with the plans, granted anonymity because they were not authorized to divulge the plans. Last year, pop superstar Taylor Swift was recognized. To mark the magazine cover reveal, Time CEO Jessica Sibley rang the opening bell. Trump was also named Time Person of the Year in 2016 after he won the presidential election. He joins 13 other presidents who have received the recognition, including President Joe Biden. A short list for Time Person of the Year was announced Monday on NBC's The Today Show and included Trump, Vice President Kamala Harris, Kate Middleton, Elon Musk, and Benjamin Netanyahu, who is not to be confused with the incredible musical group Matisyahu. One is much cooler than the other. Time already announced NBA star Caitlin Clark as Athlete of the Year, Elton John as Icon of the Year, and Lisa Su of Advanced Micro Devices as CEO of the Year. The spokesperson for Time said the magazine does not comment on its annual choice for Person of the Year prior to publication. This year's choice will be announced tomorrow morning, December 12, on time.com. Here he attends the 2016 Gala at Times Warner Center on April 26th of 2016. He's aged a little bit, but it doesn't seem like he's aged that much. Yeah, no, you're not wrong, Space Fraggle. Even though I'm still supportive of him, I am open to that criticism because I agree with some of what you say. He's already going back on some of his campaign promises. He said he was going to bring down grocery prices. Now he says he can't. Kapla, Gorilla Censored Thoughts, and please visit this fine gentleman's channel. He's got a wonderful place with lots of brilliant commentary and watch parties. Kapla. Sorry, I'm late. Was in the shower. Oh, even Gorilla's got a shower. Space Fraggle, I hope you clean the hair from the drain, Gorilla. And Gorilla's Space Fraggle, but then the water drains too fast. Yeah, not wrong. So I'm curious to know. I know Space Fraggle's comment is a legitimate one, that he seems to be going back on some of his campaign promises. Gorilla Censored Thoughts. I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on Donald Trump being named Time's Person of the Year and how that reflects on has the media changed, or are they just simply trying to put their steel hand in a velvet glove? Gorilla Censored Thought says that I missed it last night. I missed it a lot of nights, sadly. I hate this damn chronic fatigue stuff. You missed it last night. We got LDG real good. What did you do? What did you do? Times is still relevant? Yeah, I don't know. Are any of the mainstream media's platforms relevant anymore? But let's just pretend that they are. They've named Donald Trump the Person of the Year. The incoming president has long been fixated with being on the covers of magazines, especially Time. I don't know if any of the rest of you remember, but there was a photoshopped Time magazine cover with him on it. And it became a great big scandal because they had it in his office or something. And so the media just pounded the crap out of him. That's a fake magazine. It's not real. He really wasn't Person of the Year. And it's okay, Space Fraggle. You can bash on him. I may not necessarily agree with bashing on him, but I will agree. It does seem to be the unfortunate thing that this is not to excuse Trump here, but every freaking politician seems to do this, no matter how good they are. They make the promises, and then once they're faced with the reality of it, well, I may not be able to do blah, 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 blah. But anyway, Space Fraggle is kind enough. He says he won't bash President Trump too hard. I will be fair during the show. I just counted on a few of his promises. I agree. I will say this. I don't know that I probably won't be upset with him if it doesn't happen, but I will be painfully upset if RFK and Tulsi Gabbard are not confirmed by the legislature. I will be pissed. Jeff B, hail and well met. Howdy, howdy. Gorilla Censored Thought says, problem with Times Person of the Year, they prop up good people, but also people like Stalin, Mao, and Uncle Adolf. And that is correct. And I was going to bring this up, but this seems to be as good a time as any. I'm not going to share the posts because I really don't want to give free advertising to irritating people. But there's the obvious connections. And when I say obvious, it's obvious only in that it's the tactic. Comparing Trump's Time magazine cover to Mustache Man's magazine cover. Because, it's just mandatory. We got to do it. A vain politician, heavens. Right on, Jeff. Right on. Chris W., welcome, welcome. Sadly, I don't know if you've ever been part of my show. I am sadly partisan. But I try to be fair to everybody. Sometimes I fail. But I always try to be fair to everybody. So say whatever you feel like. I may or may not agree or disagree, but I always try to disagree respectfully until I learn that which this doesn't apply to you. Don't take this the wrong way, Chris W. You are very warmly welcome here. Women with glasses, they just warm my heart. But anyway, I always try to give someone a fair shake until I decide that they're a troll. And so there's been exactly and only one person that I never even blocked that person, but I just gave up. They weren't trying to have honest discourse. They were just being trolls. So say whatever you want, but respectfully, we all try to respect each other here, whatever our beliefs. Hello, Space Fraggle. I'm not into politics. I believe in art and the freedom of speech in art. Hell to the yes. I agree with that wholeheartedly, Chris W. I think in a better world, I would probably be talking about books and poetry, which is what I'd really rather be talking about. But for some reason, people will listen when I talk about politics and rarely listen when I talk about the books and the poetry. Gorilla Censored Thoughts. Don't link Charlie Chaplin mustache to the other guy. I want that style to come back. Charlie Chaplin was pretty dang cool. And Kaplaw, Mark Malnikoff, Klingon Trail and a Bird of Prey. Glory to you, Mark Malnikoff, and your house. And DJ Ronnie G, yet another person with a channel that you all need to check out. He has some very enlightening videos. He says, request, if anyone has any halfway decent drone footage, please send links to me on X. I want to try applying the astrophotography image stacking method to see if I can eke out more detail. Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Yes, please. Anybody that's got drone footage, please send it to DJ Ronnie G. He will do something amazing with it. He really will. Space Fraggle, Curtis runs a good show. He's always been respectful to me, and I to Curtis. Yeah, I've yet to hear Space Fraggle say, "Curtis, you big dumb bloaty blow, big dumb head nom nom." It's just not that way, Curtis. So, and I love everybody here. At least at the moment, everyone here is someone that I have interacted with and love dearly. So, the person of the year goes to a newsmaker who has had a significant impact on the year's events. In the past, has included people ranging from Winston Churchill and Queen Elizabeth II to Vladimir Putin and Joseph Stalin. Man, I wish I had the Russian the old Soviet national anthem going on in the background now. Trump in 2013 called the magazine's annual list of influential people a joke. I got to get this right. It's a joke and stunt of a magazine that will, like Newsweek, soon be dead. Bad list. I got to tell you, if Time Magazine really knew how to cover the news, I would be Person of the Year every other month. That's the way it would be. I got to tell you, I have the most phenomenal team. I have the most phenomenal presidency. I have the most phenomenal campaign. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. I love the guy, voted for the guy, but I got to tell you, he is fun to make fun of at the same time. But I make fun of him with love. DJ Ronnie G, good evening, Curtis. I'll rejoin you when I get out of the battery tunnel. Right on, right on. Drive safe. Sashi, hail and well met, the man from the future who never shares the winning lottery ticket with me. Greetings, Sashi. I hope that you are doing well. Sashi is our resident Malaysian asset. The rest of us, just so that you know, Chris W., I, like everyone pro-Trump in here, am a Russian asset. Russia pays me 1 million rubles for every year that I make great content for their asset. That comes out to be about $5.93. So it doesn't help me out any. And frankly, I think I sold out too cheap. But DJ Ronnie G is entering hyperspace now. Chris W is laughing. Oh, good. Excellent Trump impression. Thank you. Well, you know, I do my best. I can't do a Biden. Not because not because of the preference, but I just, every time I try to do a Biden impersonation, it doesn't work. That does not work. So I just keep it with the ones that I can do. Gorilla Censored Thought. I don't have the Soviet national anthem, but I have the Karagan national anthem. Neat. And then all these people that know Klingon, dadgummit, I'm so nickel Tordny. Yep. I have no idea what that means, but I'm sure it's awesome. And Chris W is laughing, and that is good because I try to inform people, but I also try to make it so that it's fun and funny, and it's not just this big diatribe of vote Trump or the world's going to end, or if you voted Democrat, you're a bad person. Because frankly, I don't think any of that's true. Even though I was pro-Trump, I think / hope we would have survived if it had been Kamala. And there were good people who voted for Kamala. So, you know, they voted the way they did because of their reasons, the information they had. So I sometimes become a little condemnatory of politicians, but I try very hard not to ever come across condemnatory of someone that voted for any particular politician. Mark Malikoff, I am an asset of the Klingon Empire. Drones are really our cloaked ships visiting. You know, Mark Malikoff, you have just been much more helpful than the government has been in any of their announcements. Sashi, update on the censorship issue involving Visa. Ooh, yay. Nice. I made a crap ton of shorts because I wanted to. I don't know. I'm really trying to do something. I'm just trying to do something cool. And the other day I was like, you know, everyone makes all these short videos out of their longer videos, but I don't have the time or the energy to edit them like some of them do. So I just made a bunch of random shorts. And so Sashi is talking about one of the shorts that I released. And don't worry, Chris, it was not photos of me wearing shorts. Don't worry. But we were discussing various things on these shorts about economics, and Sashi had given me a comment, a really salient comment about one. His update on the censorship issue involving Visa. The Japanese have started to fight back after an otaku matchmaking site was blocked for payment. Now, to put it into perspective, Visa has basically, I don't know what the official term would be, but they've debanked people for what I feel are not legitimate reasons. And Sashi had told me that Visa had shut down one of the manga cartoons because they felt that it was too risque. And like you, Chris, I am very much about free speech in art and in literature. I don't think it's cool. And of course, I have friends that would justify it and say, well, Visa has the right to not, do business with anybody that they want. But that's illegitimate still to me. One, because they're a great big mammoth organization. And to me, it's not cool that they pick on little people. And number two, we've learned the government is in bed with a lot of these decisions. So it's not. It's not only not cool, it's illegal. And I really would love it if there was some consequences for some of this. Gorilla Censored Thoughts. Bird of Prey 5. Rest in peace, Bird of Prey 5. Took the something anthem and rewrote it. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. If you find it, please feel free to leave a link in the chat. I would be very happy to share that. I'll keep an eye out on the chat. Excellent, Mark. And I speak for the Borg. I knew it, Chris. I knew. That's why resistance of you is futile. In case anyone wonders, I flirt horribly with Chris. One of these days, she's going to sue me or something. But I am mostly harmless, so don't worry about it. DJ Ronnie G, glory to your house at Space Fraggle. Chris W, the only gal who sees those handsome legs is Cassie. You are correct. I am a one-woman man. Sadly, Cassie is on the couch, or I would try to get some camera time on her. Sashi, Singapore used the Protection from Online Falsehoods and Manipulation Act against an online news site for criticizing the government for cracking down on dissenting views. Now, obviously, I have mixed emotions about that because I don't want your government cracking down on dissenting views. Having said that, it's not my government. And I want to officially acknowledge to all and sundry, Sashi is not criticizing his government. He is just pointing out something his government is doing. He's just stating a fact. There's no criticism. But at the same time, I can't help but just feel a little warmth in my heart that they're using the Protection Act. Well, anyway, but I hate what they're using it for. Sorry. Sashi, yes. Yeah, the government's cracking down on dissenting views, thereby proving their point. Right on. But again, there is no official criticism there. There is none. I want that to be pointed out. Mark Malnikoff, the Borg wouldn't want this miserable ball of mud. Yeah, I think the Borg actually did come to our planet and look down at the 1968 Democratic National Convention and decided that we were a lost cause and just, beam me up, Scotty. There's no intelligent life here. And in case you're wondering why I'm slamming the Dems so hard, if you don't know about the 68 convention, just please look it up. It was, in my humble opinion, of all the political conventions in all of the United States history, that was the biggest fiasco. It is what it is. Yeah, there's sadly reasons why Nixon won. I hate admitting that, but there was. Trump in 2013. Oh, I already did that. In 2015, Trump complained that he was not chosen for the magazine cover, that instead went to then German Chancellor Angela Merkel. Oh, the comment I want to make. I can't do it. Gorillas, if you know what the comment is that I'm wanting to make, please feel free to leave it in the chat. Gorilla, send your thoughts. The Borg saw people eating Tide Pods and decided it wasn't worth the effort. You know, I remember when these kids have it so easy today. In my day, we had to eat our Tide straight from the box. We didn't have it conveniently placed in Tide Pods. Anyway, he went on to call being named Person of the Year. It's a great honor. It's the biggest honor that I've ever had. There's never been an honor. This is incredible. There's never been a better honor than this one. It means a lot, especially me growing up reading Time magazine, because I did read when I was growing up. And, you know, it's a very important magazine, Trump said. It's probably the most important magazine. I got to do it. I can't help it. Trump has been featured on the magazine cover 3 times this year. And I thought about sharing an article that showed all the times that he has been on there. But to me, it just wasn't important enough or entertaining enough to actually share that. So it looks like the tide is turning, possibly, or possibly it's not. Because like I say, a lot of people are taking that Time magazine, which the one that I have up here is my own fabrication. It's not the real Time magazine cover, but it has been a dual-edged sword. Just because he's Person of the Year doesn't mean that they're on his side. The Corega National Anthem. Okay, we're going to have to take a side tour here for the Corega National Anthem. This in honor, well, if I'm smart enough to get there, sometimes very silly person, sometimes. Okay. Oh, this is going to be good. I can already tell it. See, this is the kind of stuff I wish I had the talent to make. That would be so cool. And then instead of talking about goofy politicians, I could talk about important things like Klingons and Vulcans, lions and tigers and bears. All right, folks. Bird of Prey 5, may he rest in peace. The Corega National Anthem. Let's see what this is. Gonna bring it up so you don't see my pointless view thing. Let me know if that's too loud or whatever, but anyway. Alter the studies, found all your orphans and took them away. We give our orphans love and care. Why to deny it is to dare? We give them shelter to the He does the greatest streams. He's the answer to Correga's dreams. Sweeter than sugar, and fresher than pines. We bow at the feet of our faithful embrace. Oh, hail Corona, the land of Gibraltar. Our wheelchairs are fast and around in jeeps. We are the way fruits and peace. Going real fast makes us see our roots. Lord and King, great ruler forever. Oh, hail Corona, Gorilla's Random Thoughts, that was amazing. I've got to admit that was amazing. I need to learn some of this stuff. Chris W. the other day gave a like to the what I think is the best thing I've done on my channel, but yet it's maybe has 30 views. It's a parody. It's a Star Wars parody, but it's a parody of the song "Hurt." You know, basically, it's about someone who's hurt themselves watching newer Star Wars stuff. Man, I have no idea how to get music over it, or if I even can, would I get dinged for copyright? But that's the kind of stuff that I would love to do. And God bless Bird of Prey. He left us too soon. I'm going to share that on Twitter because I can and because I want to. So there. Ha! Take that. Okay, let's get caught up in the chat. Sashi, Singaporeans and Malaysians have a long-running rivalry. Malaysians consider Singaporeans as stuck up and miserable. Singaporeans think of us as knuckle-dragging Neanderthals. Ah, so it's basically like Arkansas and France. Okay. Mark Melnikov, Gorilla Censor Thoughts. The Borg then said, "We are the board." Oh, yeah, we are the board. Never mind. And then left. Chris W. I love when comedians do impressions. It's what made Robin Williams such a genius. It was part of it. He was a genius. I miss him. Every time somebody brings up his name, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to get maudlin here, start crying. Chris, yeah, Robin Williams. But yeah, I hate that he's gone. I know it would have happened eventually anyway, but I just hate that it did happen. Gorilla Censor Thoughts, Mark, just imagine if the Borg assimilated Red Foreman. We are the Borg. Prepare to have out for up your ass. Sashi, all right, I have to get ready for work. See you guys. God bless you, Sashi, and I hope you do well. I hope work isn't too brutal on you. I know it can be brutal, so be blessed. Space Fraggles saying take care. Please hit the like button for us. Yeah, I don't tell people that often enough. Please hit the like button while you're at it if you aren't already, but I'm pretty sure most of you are, or actually I think all of you are. Please subscribe, and I'm a little under 900 hours away from monetization. So, one, thank you so much for being here when you could be watching a movie or watching a stream that's frankly probably better than mine, like Gorilla Censored Thoughts. But also to ask, please, maybe find, throughout the week, maybe find something that looks like something you'd want to listen to and see if you can suffer your way through an hour or even a half hour of some of my pointless crap. I would really appreciate it. Mark Malnikov, another play of the Soviet anthem, which I think they used in the 1984 too. What is that? Chris W. loved my Star Wars parody. Yay! I win. I won Chris's admiration for a song. Gorilla's Random Thoughts. LDG can help you with that. The only thing music I'm good at is helped with AI music generator. And I am learning how to use that, although I've been focusing more on the AI photo picture generators, as evidenced by my thumbnail and whatchamacallit, avatar. But I have played a little bit with the AI music generator. You've played with it more and to better effect. But yeah, I do wish I was better at getting sound and music and mixage. R.I.P. Robin Williams. And Chris has got a head out also. Much love to everyone here. And Curtis, thanks for the laughs. God bless you. I hope wherever you're going that you are blessed and that things are well for thee. Lady Mist, the emoji queen of YouTube and one of the great wrenches. Hail, hail. Welcome. I hope that today is finding you well. I am looking more into partisan crap and trying to be a little less partisan than I have been in the recent past, but probably still being somewhat so. So, Gorilla's Random Censored Thoughts, music generation, I can help with. Well, if you've got any suggestions, I've made a parody of the song, the Johnny Cash song Hurt, and it's about how the Star Wars movies are bad under Disney. Yeah, if anyone could give me some tips for how, even if it isn't exactly that music, in fact, that's probably better so I don't get dinged by copyright possibly. But I would love to get some music over that because I really do. I feel like it's the best thing I've done on the whole channel. Everyone's saying hello to Lady Mist. Hello, ladies. Sorry. Okay. I'll be good. I'll be nice. So let's move on to the next thing, which again, maybe the tide's turning, or maybe I'm the one that's in the wrong and Trump really is a big dumbhead nom tyrant. Let's see what we can hear about ABC News. This is from CNN. I figured I had something from Fox. I'll have something from CNN to try to keep it somewhat balanced. ABC News settles defamation suit with Trump for $15 million.
Breaking news into CNN, ABC News anchor George Stephanopoulos has reached a settlement with President-elect Donald Trump in his defamation suit. The lawsuit stemming from an interview that Stephanopoulos did with Congresswoman Nancy Mace, where he asserted Trump was found liable for rape in a civil case. The network will pay out $16 million as part of that settlement and have to issue an apology. CNN chief media analyst Brian Stelter joining me. And Brian, this is actually a lawsuit with ABC News, the network, and Stephanopoulos. What else can you tell us about this?
I can tell you that back when Rush Limbaugh was doing his thing, and I really was a hardcore right-winger, Rush Limbaugh would have been bringing up that this was Stephanopoulos. Gorilla Censored Thoughts, I'm going to write it down because if I don't, I'll forget. What will I write it down on? You know what? Hold on. I'll be radio silent for 20 seconds as I get my notebook, because if I don't write it down, I will sadly forget it. Arise, libertarians above totalitarians. All right. Gorilla's Random Thoughts, Censored Thoughts. And while I'm on the topic of the weekend, I'm likely not doing my Saturday morning cartoons because the new job I have, I'll be working every other Saturday. So it will probably be every other Saturday that I do the cartoons. Music for Hurt parody. So it will very likely either be Saturday late afternoon or evening, or sometime on Sunday that I hit you up on Twitter. I am following you on Twitter, right? Let me make sure. Gorillas. Because I'm actually terrible at my social media stuff. Censored Gorilla. Is that you? Is that you? Santa Claus? I don't think that's you. Well, feel free to leave your Twitter handle in there as well, if you would like. And please, everybody, be sure and follow him on Twitter, because that's how we roll on this community. We try to help each other out. Gorilla's Censored Thoughts. CNN committed treason. Possibly so. And honestly, I probably agree with you, but maybe be a little more specific, because my mind's like scattered all over the place today. DJ Ronnie G, Shelter lost weight. Good for him. Yeah. Even if I don't like someone, it's very rare that I want ill to happen to anybody. Either that or he has a well-tailored suit, which, awesome sauce. Oh, this is your Twitter thing. Gorilla Random. Okay. We are at Gorilla. An old man desperately typing, tired blogging. Oh, what? Gorilla. Oh, it helps if I spell gorilla correctly. Maybe. Gorilla. There it is. I do follow you. Okay, so you should be able to I should be able to DM you. So there it is, Miss America.
That's right. It's not every day that you hear about a major network, a TV network, paying millions of dollars and apologizing to the president-elect. So this is a headline with real ramifications. And as you said, it stems from an episode of George Stephanopoulos' Sunday morning news program, where he was talking with a lawmaker, I think it was Nancy Mace, and they were talking about the E. Jean Carroll case. And George Stephanopoulos repeatedly used the word rape, saying Trump was found guilty of rape, liable of rape. Well, in fact, the accurate phrase to use is sexual abuse. That is what the New York court found. But
now, I have mixed feelings about this myself, because one, I really wish I knew how legit that case is. But number two, it does seem, if I was on the other side, if I was a liberal Democrat, I would be thinking, oh man, it's so equivocal. He won the civil suit. It's close enough. Here's the deal. We've documented this on this channel. There have been so many actual blatant, outright lies that there is a big part of me that thinks, yes, finally, someone's being held responsible for something. Now, I don't know that I like it that this is the thing that's being held to the fire. But I think it probably depends largely on what side of the aisle you're on, whether you think this is a good thing or a bad thing.
Because Stephanopoulos kept using that R word, rape, Trump filed a lawsuit. He filed a defamation suit. We've talked a lot in recent years about people using the courts trying to seek justice. Remember the same?
Yep, both sides have been doing it. Just putting that out there.
Sandy Hook case against Alex Jones. Well, those defamation kinds of cases can also be filed by someone like the president-elect. So Trump filed a defamation.
And that might be why you want to back off from using them so much. I'm just putting that out there.
Suit. It was working its way through the courts.
I've been working my way through the courts, babe, with litigiousness inside.
Unable to get it thrown out initially. And actually, in the next few days, Trump was set to be deposed in the case. But ABC is avoiding going any further by settling. They're paying out $15 million plus $1 million in attorney's fees. They say this is going to go to a nonprofit, basically to Trump's future library. That's the idea. But maybe most importantly, Jessica, ABC is also apologizing, issuing a statement of regret. I'm just looking at my computer to get the exact wording here.
All right. I'm going to basically let you listen to the rest of that if you want to. Unlike the Joe Rogan thing, this doesn't have a lot more great information. But Mark Monaco, are we tired of winning yet? Oh, man. Don Henley came out with a beautiful song back in the late 90s. I almost never hear it, and I don't understand why I don't. And if YouTube wasn't so liable to ding you on copyright, I would love to play it for you guys someday. I may just play it on Cosme someday. It's a sequel to the Eagles Hotel of California, where the devil shows up in California and he finds that there's nothing left for him to do because we've already done all the evil for him. And part of that song is some evil CEO giving a diatribe. It's like almost a minute of just this sinister evil voice. I want to say it was freaking what was his name? Help an old man out. Here, I'll have to look him up because otherwise I'm going to go nuts. Curtis, I'll be looking up an actor. Tired blogging. What? Oh, no, this one. Kirk Douglas. I want to say it was the voice. It was either the voice of Kirk Douglas, or at least I know they used his image as the guy playing the devil in the video. Anyway, the CEO, he's talking about, there is no wrong, there is no right, and I sleep very well at night. But it ends with there's nothing but a pathetic opportunity, something or other selling T-shirts. And winning. So anyway, that is what ABC News saith. So what does CNN have to say? All right. Why ABC News settled with Donald Trump for $15 million. George Stephanopoulos ended Sunday's This Week program without any mention of him or ABC News settling Donald Trump's defamation lawsuit against them. The suit was triggered by a segment on This Week, but ABC News has not reported on TV its agreement to pay $15 million to Trump's presidential foundation at all. The quiet approach on air is in keeping with the network's attitude toward the settlement writ large. This problem needed to go away, an ABC executive remarked, on condition of anonymity. But the speculation about why ABC agreed to settle, because if you notice, ABC was saying that it looked like they were going to win anyway, but yet they settled for good or ill. Judging from, okay, so the speculation about why ABC agreed to settle and why now and why at such expense has not gone away. I do want to point something out, though. Yes, Trump is being litigious, and possibly he's being unrighteous, dishonorable, and unfair. But that $15 million is not going to bankrupt or break ABC News, whereas the left has bankrupted Alex Jones and desperately tried to bankrupt Donald Trump. So just weigh those two thoughts in your head. Judging from social media reactions to the news, partisan know-it-alls on the right think the why is obvious. ABC lied about Trump, they say. So now the network is being punished accordingly. Punish! Some Trump critics on the left are also certain that they know what's going on. They say ABC and parent company Disney are bowing to Trump for craven political purposes. Movie is out right now. DJ Ronnie G, screw that he has every damn right. Yeah, he does. He does. DJ Ronnie G, years of tall tales and faux outrage. Right on. Ultimately, the reasons for the settlement may remain a secret between the two sides, but media lawyers who spoke with CNN said it is rare to see a settlement at this stage of a legal dispute. The lawsuit stemmed from a March 10, 2024 ABC segment in which Stephanopoulos repeatedly said that Trump has been found liable for rape. Hopefully YouTube doesn't ding me because I am saying this as part of a news thing. In the E. Jean Carroll civil case. And again, if you're on the left, it does seem equivocal. He was found liable, but in bizarre legalese, that's still not guilty. That's why they had to go through the civil courts, because they couldn't, because I guarantee you if they could have proved it beyond a shadow of a doubt, it would have been a criminal trial. I guarantee it. Trump has denied all wrongdoing toward Carroll, which he would do whether he had done it or not. But last year, a jury found that Trial sexually abused Carroll, sufficient to hold him liable for battery, though it did not find that Carroll proved he raped her. Trump filed suit 1 week after Stephanopoulos' report, accusing him of actual malice. There's a classic movie that I don't know if they still are, but journalists used to have to watch. It was called Absence of Malice. The premise of the movie being that once you basically accuse someone of something, their lives are basically ruined. And it doesn't matter if they're proven innocent, because you get a paragraph buried on page 10, and we found that on this channel. The Steele dossier, you go through 2 or 3 pages on Google about how legitimate it was, quote unquote, from 2000, 2001, and 2022. And then on page 2 or 3, you finally get a little 1 paragraph thing where CNN and Snopes both agree that no, actually the Snopes dossier was fake. Again, happens on both sides of the aisle. It really does. Anyway, actual malice is the high bar that public figures must meet to prove they were defamed. ABC filed a motion to dismiss the case, but in July, Judge Cecilia M. Altanaya rejected those arguments and allowed it to move forward, which meant the network was subjected to the pre-trial discovery process. Fancy way of saying that the anchorman had his emails and other work materials scrutinized. Makes you wonder what was in those emails that they were willing to settle. Last week, with a trial date on the books for April, the judge said that ABC must hand over any remaining documents to Trump's legal team right away. She also ordered both Stephanopoulos and Trump to be deposed in the coming days. The settlement means that won't happen. Hail Tim, FKHC 2005. In the year 2005, 5. I hope you are doing well, and thank you for being on the channel. Hopefully you find some of this entertaining and or informative. Last week, with a trial date on the books for April. Oh, I already read that. According to court documents, ABC and Trump's team agreed to the settlement terms last Friday. Settlement terms are often kept confidential, but not this time. A court filing on Saturday effectively announced the payout and ABC's apology, enabling Trump's allies to publicly celebrate. Why now? Why would they do this now is the question Ken Turkle, a trial attorney at Turkel Cuva Barrios, asked a colleague over the weekend. Turkel, who is representing Sarah Palin in her resurrected defamation suit against the New York Times, otherwise, well, maybe I shouldn't even joke about that, but I will anyway. What the hell? I'm going to be completely disingenuous. New York Times, otherwise known as the Antichrist's Bible, said he was merely speculating like other observers. But one obvious possibility is that perhaps they didn't want to be actively litigating against a sitting president. Given the facts as alleged in the parties' respective filings, that's probably the only thing that looks different about this case, he said. In my experience, when media defendants are unsuccessful at the dismissal stage, which was in July, they focus on preparing for summary judgment to challenge the legal sufficiency of a plaintiff's claim, he said. It begs the question as to why ABC settled before the summary judgment stage. Turkle also said you would have to consider whether the discovery process unearthed emails or other internal ABC data that damaged the network's case. That's what Eric Erickson, who is not to be confused with the famous psychologist, who is likely a much better person, who practiced law before becoming a conservative radio host, said he took away. No, a $15 million settlement is not the cost of doing business. It is avoiding discovery, Erickson wrote on X. As we all know, Anthony Fauci is all for being against discovery and avoiding it. The funds have been earmarked to a Trump Presidential Foundation and Museum in the future, and one can only imagine how Trump might troll ABC with a gallery of fake news. I got to tell you, ABC has the most fake news channel on it. It's just amazing. It's just incredible. I can't believe how fake their news is. ABC declined comment. The president-elect has a long history of litigation, and maybe that's why some of the litigation happened against him. Well, just putting that out there. Some media law experts believe ABC had a good chance of beating him at trial, but trials also add uncertainty and a risk of severe reputational damage, factors that ABC's parent company Disney is now avoiding. A renowned First Amendment attorney, Floyd Abrams, who did not direct any of the Star Wars movies, just to be clear, told CNN there's no escaping the reality that the settlement was a major victory for Trump. The case undoubtedly posed a genuine level of risk for ABC since George Stephanopoulos had inaccurately summarized the jury verdict as one in which the jury had found Trump liable for rape, when it had instead found him liable for sexual abuse and not rape. For a person, especially one now about to become a president, held by a jury to have committed an act of sexual abuse to receive an amount of this magnitude in settlement is disturbing. And I wanted to share what The Hill had to say on the same topic because I like them. They respect libertarians. Let me skip down a little bit because I don't want to repeat too much of what I've already read. The jury had found Trump liable for sexual abuse under New York law, but not rape. Under the settlement agreement, the network will put the $15 million in escrow to ultimately be used toward Trump's future presidential library and foundation. ABC also agreed to pay $1 million in legal fees and add an editor's note to the bottom of the relevant article. court documents show. Again, though, how many people will read to the bottom of the article? I mean, it's a win, but if I were Trump, I frankly would want more. I would want heads rolling, but then who knows? Maybe it's a good thing I'm not president. ABC News and George Stephanopoulos regret statements regarding President Donald J. Trump made during an interview by George Stephanopoulos with Representative Nancy Mace on ABC's This Week on March 10. In return, Trump agreed to drop the lawsuit, waive any legal claims arising from the interview. We are pleased that the parties have reached an agreement to dismiss the lawsuit on the terms of the court filing. Trump spokesman deferred comment to the written agreement. The settlement was first reported by Fox News Digital, fair and balanced. The case had been moving closer to trial after ABC's bid to dismiss it failed. Epic fail. As part of the discovery phase, a judge on Friday ordered both Trump and Stephanopoulos to sit for depositions. Now I'm just seeing them like, sit, Trump, sit, Steppy, sit. Good boys. To sit for depositions lasting up to 4 hours next week. Trump's lawyers claim the anchor's comments damaged the then candidate's reputation, seeking an unspecified amount of damage. All righty. I am very curious what y'all think. Please let me know in the chat. Do you think this is good? Do you think this is bad? Do you think Trump was done wrong? Do you think it doesn't matter and that he actually is a big poo-poo head rapist? I am very curious to know. And I'm going to now share the Rachel Maddow fit of the week. She's so fun. She's like demonstrates about 60% of all the things that I believe make journalism no longer relevant.
The quite unexpected news this weekend that ABC News would settle a defamation suit with President-elect Trump and pay him $15 million. Had the president-elect licking his chops today at a press conference, talking about the prospects he imagines for going after more media outlets. He said he plans to sue somebody, I don't know, the people of Iowa.
The Des Moines Register. You're a journalist. You can get the words out. Des Moines Register. You don't have to tell us what you think about them. She's so pompous.
Iowa, their newspaper wasn't totally clear. He plans to sue someone over a poll late in the election season that showed Trump doing well in, Trump not doing as well as he did in Iowa. Since he eventually won Iowa, he thinks that's grounds for a lawsuit because that poll said he might lose it. The especially hairy thing that he said today was that actually he shouldn't have to bring suits like this himself. He expects that the Justice Department, the U.S. Department of Justice, should bring lawsuits like this on his behalf. The dynamic that's emerging for the second Trump term is not just that powerful people want to be able to use their own power to harass their perceived critics.
Let me point out, this is the voice, this is the front face for the people in the party that tried to quarantine us, tried to threaten us, tried to scare us. I'll never get over COVID. I never will. If that was the only thing that they'd done, that alone makes them the bad guys in my eyes. Do I understand why she might be a little bit upset with the Trump thing? Sure. But I frankly really don't care, even though I'm sharing it, mainly because I'm mocking it. I don't think she has any grounds to be the one talking about this. I can think of a dozen reporters. They might be more bland. They might be less entertaining, but they would be way more objective. Gorillas ran censored thoughts. I'm smelling another lawsuit. Looks like Rachel Maddow won't get her $25 million salary this year. Yeah, usually I don't wish ill on people, but she annoys the crap out of me.
It's that the new president-elect expects that he will be able to use not just his own power and influence, but he will be able to use the U.S. government to harass.
Like you did when you told Twitter, not you, but your government told Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all those other platforms to censor people who opposed them. Is Trump full of crap? Honestly, yeah. But his full of crapness is maybe 1% as dangerous. Because here's the deal. We've talked about it before. Maybe you believe it, maybe you don't. But I'm beginning to suspect that we actually are. We actually are the media. Maybe not us, but the people like us who made it to the top and who've got the viewership that these people used to have. They tried to stop that. They tried to stop that with harassment. They tried to stop that with censorship. Trump himself, whatever you may think of him, I always thought it was BS that they took away his Twitter account. It was censorship. If you didn't like the things he was saying, just block his account. Don't listen to him. I didn't. I meant what I said. I know a lot of you missed the story, but I think some of you have heard it already, but I'll repeat it again. In the break room at work about 10 years ago, I went in, CNN was on. CNN was reporting that Aretha Franklin had died, and the first thought in my head was, oh, thank God, they're not talking about Trump. That's where I got, and until the assassination attempt, that's where I was. I was so sick to death of hearing about the guy. But these are the people that wouldn't shut up about him. They don't know him, but these are the people who, in a way, originally got him elected. And these people are so worried about being censored themselves, they didn't give two shits about the little guys like us who have less than 1,000 or less than 2,000 viewers. Yeah, we can censor those bastards. You know, they're just making it hard on the rest of us anyway. Jeff B, do Maddow and Snuffleupagus have the same barber? Lady Mist is agreeing 100% with something. I'm not sure what, but I love that I hope you're enjoying it, Lady Mist. Please let me know your thoughts, even if you disagree. I know you're always respectful about the way you disagree. Cancel and deplatform. That's the way they work. Yeah. And again, I want to remind you, if I'm absolutely okay with you thinking that Trump shouldn't have sued Steppy Stephanopoulos, but I want to remind you, Steppy's career and life are not over. These bastards went after people and against Trump. Maybe he deserved it. Maybe you think he deserved it. But they went after these people with a savage, like Smash JT and Otaku or whatever the hell that lady's name is. You know, they went for the jugular, and now here they are. Well, he's mean. He's mean. He got 15 million when they tried to take $500 million with a B from him. Well, yeah, but he's a billionaire. So's ABC. So's Disney. I will bet that 15 million hurts them a hell of a lot less than $500 million hurt Trump. Alex Jones, I'm okay with you not liking him, but I'm going to just come out on record. It was bullshit to take away his livelihood for what he said. I would have been okay with some kind of settlement, but one that was in the billions of dollars. That's not justice. That's not right. DJ Ronnie G. Lady Mist is my favorite person to agree to disagree with. Right on. Fortunately, a limited range of topics, but I'd like to think we agree on much more. Yeah, when it comes to Lady Mist, I'm pretty sure that we pretty much agree on the things that really matter. Like, as an example, I respectfully disagree that Trump is a man without honor. But if I did agree, and there was a time when I did, I bet I would be thinking and saying exactly the same things that Lady Mist is, because none of us likes an honorless bastard. None of us do. Especially not Klingons. Space Fraggle, I thought Trump made a campaign promise not to weaponize the justice system. Another promise broken. Not a bad point. It's a legitimate point. And again, I'm poo-pooing it a little bit here, and I am equivocating, and I mean what I say. But yeah, a perfect person probably wouldn't have done this. But there are other sides to it. Mark Molnikoff, it's two Klingons fighting. I love it. No, I'm glad he did sue. This dishonest crap needs to stop. And I got to give you both points. Which side do I come down on? Honestly, if I'm being honest, without meaning to be horrible or what have you, I do come down on the glad he did sue, because I agree. We've covered it on this channel. We've discovered lie after lie after lie after lie. A lot of them came out of this woman's mouth. I honestly would rather he was suing her than Stephanopoulos, because I mean, maybe I just haven't followed him enough, but I think I've heard fewer lies come out of Steppy's mouth than this woman's. Lady Mist, I don't like Trump, but we'll listen to you so I can understand why so many people worship him no matter what he does. And I don't yeah, I know. Thank you for pointing that out. I'm not worshiping him, but you are right. This was one of the things that scared me. In the past, I felt like I was a man without a country, because both sides had this cult-like thing. And that is sometimes why I'm equivocating and saying, we got to be careful. We don't want to deny that there are some uncomfortable truths. We have to look at them. Like Space Fraggle said, Trump made a promise, and at least it's a very Klingon thought. You made a promise, you broke it. But it's also a Klingon thought. These bastards have been getting away with it for far too long. DJ Ronnie G, we agree that my turtles deserve the yummiest grubs. I can also concur with that. And so does Cassie. Space Fraggle, freedom of speech, freedom of the press. Are we losing these freedoms? Well, I mean, that's been one of the big, I know I've let Trump kind of overshadow a lot of things, but that's been one of the big themes of this channel for a long time, is that I am afraid. I'm desperately afraid that we are losing, and in many countries have already lost, the freedom of speech and of the press. Lady Miss, freedom of all speech is the only free speech. I agree with that. Guerrilla Central Thoughts is not weaponizing the justice system if the people committed crimes. And that's it's a fine line, but with respect, I do come down on your side of it, Guerrillas. It is easily possible that I'm the one that's wrong, but if Steppy did maliciously, because you got to remember, this is the press. They are supposed to, like, if he had said that Trump allegedly committed rape, that would be okay. Because, you're not saying it yourself. You're reporting that other people have said it. But when you just come out and say it, you're actually stating a false fact. because he was not convicted of rape. Maybe he should have been. I don't know. And it does make it, trust me, it makes me uncomfortable to have to talk about it. But the truth is, we do have to talk about these things. Mark Malmakov, Lady Mist, I learned a long time ago, all politicians are liars. In the 80s, I worked as a poll watcher in Chicago. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Mark. What I saw opened my eyes. Words from my dad in elections, the best bullshitter wins. Oh, wow. Wow. I guess I'll play a little bit more of what this lady has to say. And then honestly, because I am kind of tired and I didn't come up with more awesome stuff to talk about, I will likely move on to pointless things that I found on X. But you know what I haven't done? I haven't come up with a poll. So let's start us a poll. What would you guys like to talk about Thursday? Let's see. Do a better job. Drones. This will likely be the last newsy one that I do before Christmas. So do a better job. All right. There we go. I have a poll out there. So please vote in there. Give me some thought on what you guys would like me to talk about. Free speech is just as much a listening skill. And Jeff, that's so brilliant. One of my heroes is a guy named Stephen Covey. He wrote The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And if you wonder why I try, because I do, I know I fail sometimes, but I try really hard to listen to you people. It's because I learned from that book. Sadly, I didn't learn it from my life. I learned it from a book. But since then, I've had it at least largely validated in my life. People really don't have any reason to listen to you if you're not willing to listen to them. And I think that this is one of, like Lady Mist, you're wondering why people worship Trump. The sad thing is, as horribly as it seems, because I know it doesn't seem like he's listening, I think he listened better than the Democrats did, at least this time around. I'm not saying he listened great or well, but I think he did a better job of listening. And I'm not saying it's just that simple, but I think that was a part of it. Space Fraggle, Mark, our battle will be glorious and with honor. Right on, Gorilla Censored Thoughts, being generous, calling her a lady. Well, yeah. But we do have Lady Mist here, and she's a lady talking about the little lady, and she makes emojis. Space Fraggle, I agree with you, Curtis. I thank you. I'm glad that you do. You're very kind. The battle, Kaplaw. Unlike Gowron's. Gowron is a patak. All right, let's listen to at least another minute of what she has to say, and then I will move on to pointless things that I have found on X. 44% are wanting Christmas stories and traditions. Awesome. 22% want me to do a better job with the drones. Dork. 22% the media against RFK, and 11% should Fauci be arrested. Huzzah. Lady Mist is a genuine lady. Rachel Maddow isn't. You got it. If you got nothing else from this podcast, I hope that we have got that down. Rachel Maddow, not a lady. Lady Mist is a lady. Lady Mist, your freedom is their price, and too late to fix it. It's a very somber thought. I hope you're wrong, but you may not be. You may be right. You may be right. I may be crazy, but it just may be a lunatic you're looking for. Sorry. Space Fraggle, that's how Martok became chancellor by default. Gowron's fault. Cults of personality exist for highly charismatic people for good or ill. You know, before I finally realized that I just wasn't going to win, that copyright was a thing. If my channel ever did get like super big, what I want is an edit from the Cult of Personality to be the intro music. I want that so bad. But anyway, firewall for freedom.
And punish his critics. And it's not just the Justice Department he plans to use. Today, the outgoing chair of the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, responded again to Trump's demands that the FCC should strip licenses from a news network that made him mad. The outgoing chair said, quote, "The FCC has no business threatening to take away broadcast licenses because the president doesn't like the content or coverage on a network."
Okay. I will concede that point. Having said that, what Maddow et al. Are failing to understand is you have people like me who have been watching an obvious character assassination, an unfair character assassination going on in a press that uses the FCC licenses, to my knowledge, without any payment to the government. But they're allowed to do that on the premise that they will be fair. So if they are not being fair, doesn't Trump have a leg to stand on? Maybe they should lose their licenses, or at least have to start paying for them. I'd love to know your thoughts in the chat. Mark Malikoff, Lady Mist, I agree with you. I tend to worry more these days about things I can control. Yeah, and honestly, it's one of the reasons why I do this silly blog. I can't control any of this crap, but I can come on here and talk to you guys and try to give you hopefully something that's worth your time. I can control that. And maybe that way we can make life just a little tiny bit better for each other. Lady Mist, I really am hoping he steps up and is for those in this country that need to have their lives made better. And I 100% agree with you on that, Lady Mist. Now that he's there, whether you like that he's there or not, it's the same way I felt about Biden. I want him to step up. I want him to do, even if he doesn't do all of the things he said, if he would just do a few of them and not screw up a bunch of stuff and maybe stop talking so much. Jeff B, like the optimism. Hell yeah. Mark Malikoff, Lady Miss, so do I. All right. So I'll let her finish out her thought.
Ahead of the election, Trump talked about using the U.S. military domestically to target Americans who oppose him or protest against him, the so-called enemy from within.
I'll have to look up that article, but I'm going to be blunt. after the investigations I've already done, I'm giving it about a 2/3 likelihood that this article is full of crap. However, again, I haven't looked into it, so I may be myself full of crap. Lady Mist has much honor and the heart of a warrior. Agreed. Well, I have had enough of listening to Rachel Maddow. I'm not really in a hurry to end the stream, but I hate talking without something to talk about. So I'm going to go on to pointless partisan things I have learned on X. And this time it looks like YouTube, Joe Rogan didn't cut me down this time. So you guys will actually get to hear it. Ha ha! So share the screen and keep out the devil. X. Okay, so Mario No File. I have no idea who that is. But Elon Musk shared it. And because I'm sleazy, I feel like it's fair game to share what the owner of the company's sharing. I can be a jerk sometimes. Biden paid Reuters $300 million for targeting Elon's companies. The Biden administration gave $300 million in government contracts to Reuters. Now, remember I had a post about how one of my liberal friends was so keen on, I know it's a different thing, but it's a similar principle. NPR, they're fair and balanced, and then it turned out they weren't. Well, here we have Reuters, which I was always taught is the most centrist of the centrists. They do not take sides. During this time, Reuters received millions from these agencies, won a Pulitzer Prize for reporting on misconduct at Elon's companies. One of the litigations that Trump is going into, and if I could have found an interesting article, I would have shared the articles, but he's going after the Pulitzer Company or organization. Now, I know it sounds ridiculous, but here's the deal. The reporters that shared that the Steele dossier was real, they got a Pulitzer Prize for that. And then it turns out that that's a shell game and an empty house of cards. And I'll be honest, I don't think anyone that reported on that deserves they may not deserve to be fired necessarily, although I think the FBI people who did the investigation should be fired. Reporters, look, you got something wrong, but I don't think you deserve a Pulitzer for it. Lady Miss, Mark Molnikov, don't think you will, from what I hear him say. He's already backtracked. Yeah, he hasn't even taken office yet. When I say something, I mean what I say. I hold Trump to the same standard. Amen. 300 million is a significant chunk of change. You are correct. This means taxpayer dollars funded media attacks on Elon. It's a coordinated effort to undermine one of America's most innovative leaders. Well, hell, you can't really read that. But the Reuters staff won the Pulitzer reporting for their work on Elon. Blah, 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 blah. Yep, there's that. Hey, Gorilla's Random Thoughts. Okay. Why are my bookmarks doing this? Oh, I bet. Hold on. You gotta hold on to what we got. Doesn't really matter if we make it or not. Okay. Here we go. Once again, one of my favorite liberals, and I mean this without irony, I mean exactly what I'm saying here, is the reporter from the Young Turks. I love his tweets, and he was literally the one and only liberal whose reporting on the Trump assassination was just spot on. He should have gotten a freaking Pulitzer Prize. Anyway, I can't believe people are complaining about Trump being Person of the Year. That designation is not positive or negative. Do they really think he was not the most consequential person this year? Who could possibly think that? Why say absurd things that make you lose credibility? Mark Malikoff. Lady Mist, I have a standard that actions speak louder than words. Have to wait and watch for now. Agreed. Lady Mist, Jeff B. Silver linings are nicer to look out. Look, blah, blah, blah. I can talk good. Sorry, Lady Mist, I'm butchering what you're saying. Jeff B. Silver linings are nicer to look at than cloudy skies. Although a good cloudy day is lovely. Oh, that is true. I love a rainy night. Some more Young Turks tweets. The radical left, because here's the deal. Again, this has been part of my journey. I really barely give a crap what a conservative says about liberals anymore. But when liberals are saying things about the radical left, I listen. Because they want to be on that same side. They want to be united, and yet they find that they can't. The radical left has been primarily bullying the rest of the left for years. We're not changing any of our policies. We just don't agree that the most extreme policies are the most effective. The great majority of the left doesn't agree with them. And elections in New York, California, and all the Democratic cities proved it. So I'm not going to let them speak for the rest of us. They can try their usual bullying tactics. The Young Turks have been fighting off bullies for over 20 years. Good luck. You're going to need it. Well said, sir. I wish I could pronounce his name. Oh, that's okay, Lady Mist. Typos are fine. I type really good. I don't know. Gina Carino, as you know, she's doing her suit against Disney. I am on her side of it because I just roll that way. Before the lawsuit happened, I prayed. I was like, God, I'm just out here in a desert, canceled, and I don't know where you're going to have me be. Who's excited to see her future projects? And what are you hoping to see? More Young Turks. My ultimate goal is to get money out of politics. I hate the corruption. I hate that mainstream media denies it. We see the politicians take millions in front of us, and they insult our intelligence by telling us that those politicians don't work for the people who just paid them. Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy. I could not resist this one. Snortapoopas Cuber, mystery solved. We now know what the drones are all for. Da 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 da. I'm loving it. Scott Adams, the canceled cartoonist of Dilbert. I called this meeting to keep you informed about the mysterious drones over New Jersey. I don't have the security clearance to know if they are ours, but you don't either, so I'll take questions. Dilbert, is this meeting a huge waste of time? Yes. Next question. All right. More stuff that Elon
was a Democrat.
Raise your hand.
This was the precise moment I no longer was a Democrat.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants. Okay.
That was the precise moment that I knew I was leaving the Democratic Party, because I was a 2-time bone cancer survivor. I voted for Obama-Biden based on Obamacare. And when it was implemented in 2010, I ended up losing my insurance. insurance. I went from an insurance plan that was $185 a month with a $1,000 deductible to that policy being canceled because it no longer met the requirements of Obamacare. And I was left with the cheapest option being $1,200 a month, $6,000 deductible.
And please let me know if you can hear it. Sometimes when I play the stuff on Twitter, it doesn't come out on YouTube. Mark Malikoff, Curtis Sully, droning on again. You got it. Guerrilla Censor Thoughts. Only way to get money out of politics is to abolish money. Ooh. And I've said so much about how I don't like communism. Man, one of my liberal friends sent me a tweet yesterday. He was making the argument for communism. He said that the Spartans were communistic and then that they were successful. I reminded him that what propped up the Spartan state was the serfdom, the virtual slavery of the Helots. And if that's the model we really want to look at, who are we going to oppress? What's the group that we're going to keep down and force to do our bidding and will? That, even in that so-called successful example of communism, is how it ends up working. We had some other things to say, and it ended up being a lot more even-footed because we were both very graceful to each other. But, yeah. Lady Mist, Mark Malikoff, words they speak louder, but honorable men and women do as they say, what they say, so you know where you stand with them and don't have to hope for the best. Jeff B., the Young Turks seem to be edging closer and closer to the center lately. Yeah, I know. Jordan Peterson, at the risk of getting everyone mad at me, says that he will probably be the next liberal to flip. Don't know. But let's finish what this guy has to say. I feel for him because I've lost people to cancer. I have relatives that have issues. Hell, I have an issue. It's just I've been able to survive it. But insurance really is kind of a big ball of crap.
$185 a month, $1,000 deductible, to $1,200 a month, $6,000 deductible. I went 10 years without insurance, and I was penalized each year because I could no longer afford insurance. And in 2016, every single Democrat candidate up on that debate stage raised their hand and said they would give illegals free health care. While me, as a 2-time bone cancer survivor, lost mine. Didn't have insurance for 10 years, and I was supposed to get CT scans, chest x-rays, and all these other tests done every 6 months to ensure my cancer didn't come back. And they wanted to give illegals free health care. That was the exact moment I was no longer a Democrat.
Right. Let me know what you think about that. Space Fraggle, just remember after these next 4 years, ask yourself, was I better off 4 years ago? It's not a bad point. It's not a bad point. Lady Mist, I too am better off now than I was 4 years ago, but that's my life has been odd, so let's not talk too much about it. I don't want the all my followers to leave. Yes, Lady Mist, keep in mind that can cut both ways. What Space Fraggle just said is a good gauge. I'm not feeling better off after the last 4 years, and that's just it. With respect to you, Lady Mist, because I am also better off than I was 4 years ago, but I am nearly unique in my group of friends. Like my liberal friends that I'm constantly harping about, I don't think any of them is better off than they were 4 years ago. And I think it's a weird irony. I, who am better off than I was 4 years ago, I ended up voting for Trump. They, who are profoundly worse off than they were 4 years ago, voted for Biden. Just shows logic doesn't, on both sides, because if I'm going by the logic of just my life, hell yeah, I should have voted for Biden. but there was more to it than just my life. Space Fraggle, me too, Lady Mist, me too. So there's 3 of us in this stream. Actually better off now than we were 4 years ago. Gorilla Censored Thoughts, I'm so sorry. I'm way worse off than 4 years ago. And I do think, even though I didn't bring it up on my channel, on my stream about why Trump won, mainly because I think it's the zeroth assumption. I think it's the assumption that pretty much goes without saying. I think if the economy were going well, even in spite of all the things that I hop up and down about and hammer and wail and babble about, I think Biden would have won. But when so many people are doing worse, and yeah, I'm one of the lucky ones. I'm doing better. But when so many aren't, I got to tell you, like my brother-in-law and my sister, they're in, because of illness and because of insurance, they're in deep crap. And the Democrats have lifted no fingers to help them. Now, to be fair, Trump may not either, for all I know. Space Fraggle will never bail on you. Wow, you're very kind. Friendship should always be stronger than politics. You know, I agree, and I'm really trying to steer a little bit away from politics, but it seems to be what people want to listen to. Don't get me wrong, the Dems are just as stupid. I love you, Lady Mist. As the Republicans are greedy, neither party is doing much for the poor middle class. Agreed. To get this country together. And yes, I think there's massive divisiveness. And this is one of the things that has been making me almost despair for the last few years. Lady Mist wins YouTube today. It just reached into my mind. Spot on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brett Weinstein. Even though the community didn't like him, I love the guy. Assume it's a psyop until proven otherwise. The fact that the federal government can't figure out how to deliver a plausible, authentic-sounding reaction to the wild drone scenario suggests the planners obsessed over the technical details and half-assed the screenwriting, just as Hollywood routinely does. All right. Elon Musk shared this. How many of these legacy media lies did you fall for? And I fell for an embarrassing number of them. I did. I'll go down the list. Russian collusion. I don't know that I exactly fell for it, but I got to tell you, I was teetering on the line because I heard so much. And I was like, man, maybe I'm the dumbass and maybe I just didn't see it. The Inflation Reduction Act reduces inflation. I never fell for that because it never does. Trump called neo-Nazis fine people. Yeah, I didn't fall for that one. I don't know what Jesse Smollett is about. Let me know in the chat if I need to look that up. Bubba Wallace garage poll. I didn't even know about it, so I'm not going to claim I was smart for that one. Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation. I fell for that. I did. I don't know what the Covington kids are. The Governor Whitmer kidnapping plot, the Kavanaugh. Trump said drinking bleach would fight COVID. I didn't fall for that one, but I got to tell you, at least the way CNN portrayed Trump's statement, it really didn't put Trump in a great light. It just didn't. He really did. And again, it might have just been the way they reported it, but he looked like an idiot at that time. Lady Mist, did you see the pics of that guy flying on that huge drone like a flying platform? I did not. If you find that, please share that in the chat. I'll be happy to share that. The Steele dossier, I didn't quite fall for it, but man, I was close, and I don't blame anybody who did. I just can't forgive someone for still believing it. especially if you listen to my channel for very much. Border agents whipped migrants. The COVID lab leak was a conspiracy theory. The Trump P tape. Russia bombed their own pipeline. Trump saved nuclear secrets at Mar-a-Lago. I still need to look into that one a little more. The Muslim travel ban. Andrew Cuomo showed the best COVID leadership. Trump built cages for migrant kids. I haven't heard of this one. Trump overfed koi fish in Japan. Build Back Better will pay for itself. Trump tax cuts benefited only the rich. Cloth masks prevent COVID. If you get vaccinated, you won't catch COVID. Sorry, Rachel Maddow. I'm pretty sure that one's been debunked. Was that a meme, Lady Mist? And Gorilla Sensor Thoughts. The Bubba Wallace one was a pull rope for the garage door. Broke, and a person just threw it on the bench, and Bunny said it was a noose. Yeah. I heard about it after the fact. I just didn't hear about it beforehand. So basically, by the time I heard about it, it had been debunked. SUV killed parade marchers. Trump used tear gas to clear a crowd for a Bible photo. Don't say gay was in a bill. Putin price hike. I don't even know what that's about, sadly. Ivermectin is a horse dewormer and not for humans. I actually got that one disproved within a few days, thanks to some friends of mine who were kind enough to share the information with me. Let's look at what Lady Mist has got. Flying. Oh, wow. Holy cow. All right, I got to share that. I will come back to pointless things on X in a moment. I will share what Lady Mist has to share. Flying car technology. All righty. Let me get the volume up on this.
What do you think?
Kevin, that guy's not even racing yet.
Yeah, he did. He blinked.
Wow. That's freaking cool. Thank you for sharing that, Lady Miss. Gorilla Censored Thoughts. Jesse Smollett was the actor that claimed he was attacked by Trump supporters in Chicago. Gotcha. Lady Miss, not sure there are several. Looks like it could work. Neat. Gorilla Censored Thoughts. They're blaming Putin for the price of oil skyrocketing. Yeah. Lady Miss. I mean, don't get me wrong. Putin's not my hero, and I'm sure it does have a little bit to do with that, but there's more to the story. Not sure if that's real, but it looks like it. It looked real to me. But then, I can be fooled. I'm not always right. What have we got? Hunter Coswald, the Sky Surfer. All right. I'm going to subscribe to Mr. Hunter Coswald. Hoverboat, Back to the Future. You got it. Lady Mist, LOL, learning to read through my typos. You're fine. It's not like I never have a typo. All right. I think that's enough of those things. Eric Weinstein, the brother of Brett Weinstein. I believe the U.S. government knows what the drones are. Doesn't wish to clear this up definitively. Dadgummit. Preferring panic and loss of credibility to disclosure. I guess it's not going to let me show the rest of it. This is the least crazy thing that could be happening, and that is totally crazy. Brett Weinstein, whatever is going on with the apparent drones in New Jersey, one, it's a conspiracy by definition. Many people must be involved, and their identities and purposes are intentionally hidden. Two, it's a light show, clearly intended to be seen. That's true whether it's aircraft projections or a mixture. The response of the federal government makes no sense, which suggests it's their operation. The Young Turks, the New Jersey drones are obviously our military. That's why the federal government isn't saying anything about it. As incompetent as this government is, nobody lets giant foreign drones fly above our airspace for weeks. They also don't want to reveal technology we've developed. I could not help but share this. It's just way too cute. Oh, shit. I am too silly to actually be sharing. Ha! You can't see what I'm looking at. So let's get back in here. Da-da-da-da. Here's what you... How long is this? Nicole Shanahan wants to be governor to restore the jobs of police and firefighters who lost their jobs. Shanahan wants to restore freedom to California. I won't play it, but you all know she's my girl. Her and Tulsi Gabbard. This I thought was incredible. How couples met in 1930 as opposed to now. I don't know if y'all ever look stuff like this up, but sometimes I do. Just see how it shifts. It was friends and family back in 1930. Online didn't even exist. Friends, co-workers, bar and restaurant. I remember all the preachers saying how bad it was. Family and church doesn't bring people together. Now all in one comes in and all of years. Look at that. All right, Troy Pacelli, next time some dimwit calls Trump a convicted rapist, just share this article. And I think we've read at least one like it. Stephanopoulos and ABC is apologizing to Trump. The Young Turks, new story about United Healthcare dumping cost outliers to make more money. That's people's lives they're dumping. This is the problem with relying solely on private healthcare. These companies are not designed to save lives. They're designed to maximize profit. Wrong incentive. Even though I'm largely capitalist, I'm curious what you think. I think I better skip that one. I saved that one for myself. It's funny and it's not so bad, but essentially this lady's got a sweater that makes it look like her boob is hanging out, but it's not. But her boob is the nose of a reindeer. This gentleman shares, Japan does not fluoridate their water. Japan does not give the hepatitis B vaccine to babies on the first day of life. The Japanese live 10 years longer than Americans. It's not anti-science to assess and update American public health policies. It's a scientific imperative. I just love this moose chasing this grizzly bear. That moose is huge. You know that grizzly bear's got to be at least 6 feet tall. It's got to be. Probably weighs, I don't know. Anyway, I thought that was cool. Young Turks. Okay, so this one is going to be on the other side because, again, I am at least trying to be fair. MAGA keeps wondering why some think Trump might be dictatorial. When one of his top advisors says he might run for a third term, people get worried. You can claim Steve Bannon was joking or that he doesn't represent Trump, but you can't claim that the concerns come out of nowhere. So, Lady V, you're listening to me to try to understand why people vote for Trump. I would suggest that conservatives, we need to be listening to some of the smarter classical liberals so that we know what are we doing wrong. How long is this video? I'm not going to play it, but shocking undercover video. National Security Advisor inside the White House details Biden can't say a sentence. We're trauma bonded. There were a lot of tears. I will play some of this.
10 seconds later, asking for Sullivan again.
A couple weeks ago, I was like the last one in the office. There was a call from my boss. And so I picked the phone and said, hello, Mr. President, like, Henry on Jake's phone. He's left for the day, but I can try to get it. I'm one for you. And he like asked me some questions. I was like, I don't know, like, let me get the tracker down. So I'll call the Secret Service detail. And it's like, I'll try his like unclassified phone. Like then like 10 seconds later, same phone. I picked it up again. I was like, hi again, it's Henry. He was like, is Jake there? And I was like, no, you called the same office.
Henry Appel stated.
Anyway, I'm not meaning to gloat about the state of Biden. I'm just reminding everyone, I think that besides the economy, the second big reason why people voted for Trump was the dementia of Biden and the fact that they hid it from us for so long. I think it might have been a different story if they'd have just owned up to it. According to the New York Post, I know we shared it on that last stream, even though the last stream was at least partially struck down. But the prisoner that CNN helped free from the Syrian prison was actually a notorious Assad regime torturer. Sounds about right. Community notes curb stomp. Trump won't do a damn thing about school shootings. Harris would have. Readers added context. Kamala Harris is currently in office. We shared that. So that's it. That's everything I have as far as pointless partisan things that I've found on Twitter. Huzzah! All right. Okay. Lady Mist is sharing something. What's going on with my chat? Oh, it wasn't updating for me. Sorry, guys. I wasn't meaning to ignore you. I don't know. We let a Chinese spy balloon gloat across all our military bases for 2 weeks. Yeah. And I still am under the theory that that was when Biden's dementia had taken hold and everyone around him was probably, because let's face it, I'm going to give them this much of the benefit of the doubt. You don't want it to be true. And you will you will be in denial if you care about the person at all. And I think for 2 weeks, the people in the administration just kept looking for leadership and didn't get it and didn't get it and didn't get it, and finally realized they would just have to basically run the country themselves. The prairie dog that wanted the food. That was probably the best thing I've shared all day. But Lady Miss did win the internet. So, Lady Miss lives behind military bunkers. When people ask me what it's like living so close to secret bunkers, I tell them not bad. Sometimes the screaming zombies hidden in them are annoying. And then start another conspiracy theory. Well done, Lady Miss. I take it back. I think you won the internet for that comment. Let's end the poll. Let's end the poll. All right. So, Christmas stories and traditions. So I will give you a Christmassy. Don't exactly know what I'll do. Maybe I'll do a watch party. Maybe I'll read some poetry. Maybe I'll do a little bit of all of the above. But the theme of Thursday's stream will be Christmas. It'll be the Curtis Selby Christmas special, which will hopefully be at least slightly better than the Star Wars holiday special. 20% of you, it was an even tie on everything else. Do a better job with the drones, Dork, the media against RFK. Should Fauci be arrested? Hey, CODIS Fact Search. Welcome, welcome. I hope you are doing well. This gentleman has been working his tail off lately, but I'm hoping that he gets a little bit of time to rest and recuperate in the holiday season. Yay, Kotches, you did. Man, I'm not. No, I'm not even going to tell you that one. I don't want to tell on myself, but I hope you are doing well, and God bless you and your family, and whatever the future holds, you're one of the people that will deal with it. I guarantee that. Gorilla Censor Thoughts. Damn it, forgot to grab my bots accounts to vote. Well, I mean, if you were voting for Christmas, then it would have been, yes, that one. Yes. The only difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth is 6 months. I do not disagree. I don't disagree. So I don't know if we came up with a verdict. Trump is doing some things that I can absolutely understand why someone might think they're questionable. I can also understand why someone might think, the damn media has been lying so much, so long, they kind of have it coming. CODIS Fact Search, you're doing great. I watch your streams after the course. Oh, thank you very much. Well, please, as you always are respectful, and respectful, constructive criticism is always welcome. God bless you, sir. You're so kind. You're so kind. All right, I am going to call it a stream. So let's start with... Be-doo. This one was at least a little more centrist than it has been lately, but you can still see my partisanship. There it is. I'm not perfect. Thank you very much, John Ponerero. Thank you for your kindness, your prayers, your brotherly love, helping me out through some spiffy times. Ranker Steve, please check out his channel. He's got a wonderful pro-masculinity without, at least when I've listened, I haven't caught him saying anything that was misogynist or anything like that. He's just about men being strong, and by gosh, I'm all for that too. Space Fraggle Kapla, glory to you and to your house. God bless you. Thank you for showing up and for the kind comment. Gorilla Censored Thoughts, please check out his channel. He has some wonderful stuff. Thank you. Kapla, thank you for your presence and your kind comments, and for the contribution to the channel. Jeff B, yes, Trump is a vain politician. We all knew that. Thank you for being here and for your kind comment. Chris W, thank you for your presence and kind comments. And I will likely see you tomorrow in, not like for real, but virtually on Connie Cleary's movie night. Doobie 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 doo. Mark Molnikoff, kapla, glory to you and your house. DJ Ronnie G. Please, if anyone has any drone footage, please send it to him. He is trying to make a video to basically see if he can make some stuff, make some points about what's going on. And I'm sure he will do well with that. Sashi, hail and well met, the man from the future, our Malaysian wonder. Thank you for showing up and for your kind comments, and thank you for working in retail. I know from personal experience, it takes a special soul to do that without some. If you ever want to know how I feel about working in retail, look up Charlton Heston SNL skit, the guy who was in retail for 20 years. It spells it out perfectly. I've given about a little less than 20 years to retail that I will never get back. Lady Mist, the emoji queen and one of the great wrenches of our time. Thank you for showing up and for your kind and thoughtful comments. I love that we don't have an echo chamber here. We have people with different opinions. Hail Tim! God bless you for coming and for your comment. I will probably see you soon as we watch Blake 7 Sci-Fi. That will be fun. Who am I missing? I can think of at least one, but it seems like there was another one as well. DJ Ronnie G, Mark Melnikoff, Gorillas, Jeff B. Wonderful people, wonderful chat, wonderful interaction. God bless all of you. Doobie. Coda's Fact Search. I knew that at least you were one of somebody. And it seems like there was somebody else. If there's somebody else that I missed, I'm so sorry. But thank you so much for showing up and for your kind comments, and also for all the many things that I've learned from you. I should have learned more, frankly, because I am a big dodo head. But you're so patient. I love you, sir. I hope that you are doing well. Oh, yes. By all means, Gorilla's Censored Thoughts, please leave a link in the chat. If anyone wants to go and watch Gorilla Censored Thoughts, I will probably go there between now and Blake 7. So, ha! I don't know why I'm saying ha. But, hey, he already did it. You read my mind. Gorilla Censored Thoughts is psychic. Yes, I think we should have a tired blogger raid. Gorilla Censored Thoughts deserve some love and attention. Oh my God, Mark Melnikoff, you are a No, one of my friends says I'm the demigod of patience. You are the greater god of patience. You are the Klingon greater god of patience. You sit beside Kalis and Sopokor because you have endured 42 years of retail torture. God bless all of you. Well, going to give you my spiel. Y'all let me know if you ever get bored with it. I'll change it up. It's been said that life is pain, and anyone telling you otherwise is trying to sell you something. Mark Molnikoff, I'm honored, I think. Well, my friend says that because of my umpteen years in retail, and I was married to a crazy ex-wife for 16 years. But you with 42 years, no, I can't compete with that. I am a midget of patience in comparison to you, sir. But anyway, people say that life is pain. Anyone telling you otherwise is trying to sell you something. I, in fact, am trying to sell you something. I'm trying to sell you on the idea that liberty is better than tyranny, freedom is better than slavery, that you are, in fact, smart and wise enough to run your own life. You do not need big governments or big companies telling you how to live, telling you what to think. And lastly of all, I want you to know you're not going mad. You're going sane in a world gone mad. I will see, hopefully most of you, but at least some of you, over on Gorilla's Censored Thoughts, and then later I will be in the chat for Blake's 7 in a world gone mad. Spoon! God bless all of you. Have a wonderful evening. I will do my Christmas special on a Thursday, probably at a similar time, 6:30-ish Central Time. Depends on when I get off of work and how I feel, etc., etc., etc.